Good morning. The date is March 25th, 2009. This is the deposition of Jim Hoover being taken in the matter of Zenaida Fernandez-Gonzalez versus Casey Anthony. The time is 10:11 a.m. and we're on record. Counsel, please introduce yourself.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and I'm here with one of our interns, Will Bates.
Court reporter, please swear in the witness.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Let me get one more. Do one thing here before. You can stop rolling for 1 minute. I gotta get something from Kim.
10:11, we'll go off record. Time is 10:14. We are back on record.
Hopefully we'll be here a couple hours. I want to ask you some questions as far as a case we have.
Couple hours.
Or more. Regarding our case of Zenaida Gonzalez versus Casey Anthony. I'm going to ask you questions. They'll be fairly straightforward. If you don't understand something I ask you, let me know, and I'll rephrase it or I'll repeat it.
That's fine.
And the only thing that you may want to do, just for Laura's sake is, and for everybody's sake, is if I ask you a question and it's a yes or no answer, if you say or that's really, they can't transcribe that. So you've been through that before.
I've been, a few hundred times.
Yeah, I would think so. All right, would you please state your name for the record?
James Hoover.
And Mr. Hoover, where do you live?
I'll give you this address in writing. I don't want that to be made media public. You have my address.
You don't want this to be made media public?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'll respect that.
Thank you. Same address you sent to me.
Okay, so, and what is your occupation?
Private investigator.
Private investigator. All right, how long have you been a private investigator?
35 years, somewhere in there. Actually, longer than that.
Where do you work?
I can work for various insurance companies, any licensed private detective agency, or any attorney that'll hire me.
Okay. So you're not, you don't have your own business?
Yes, sir.
You work for different private investigators and insurance companies?
Yes, sir.
Who are you currently working for?
I don't think that's relevant. Not trying to be rude. I don't think they would want the publicity.
Well, but I have a right to know this.
The last case I worked recently for Class Action Detective Agency. Class Action Detective Agency.
We're having trouble with here.
Class Action.
Class Action
Detective Agency.
Okay, but are you currently working today?
No, sir, not today.
No, sir, not today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you need some water? Is your mouth dry?
Yeah, would you please?
Will, would you grab him?
Yeah, I take prednisone for asthma, and it's like,
Steroid, yeah.
Yeah.
Dries you up.
Well, between that and the eye drop for glaucoma, I'm almost 66 years old. I'm falling apart, man.
You look younger than me.
That's because I got my makeup on. No.
And teeth.
Thank you. That's good. Yes, sir.
Have you ever had any training as a private investigator?
Yes, sir.
And what was that training?
It was back in the Baltimore area. It's for a company named, a couple different companies, but primarily the one I got the most training was from Mid-Atlantic Security in Catonsville, Maryland.
How old were you when you did that?
I was in my 20s.
Okay, so would you work in the service? You go to the service?
Was I in the military?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So after the military, you started working straight out as a private investigator?
No, I had some other jobs in between.
Okay. How old were you when you first started working as a private investigator?
At least in my 20s.
Okay.
26, maybe 26.
So for the last 40-something years, then this is all you've done.
Now I've done other things too.
What else?
Do I need to answer that?
Yeah.
What else? Everything from working steel mills, construction, just, dozens of jobs.
Is this more of a hobby for you? I'm trying to get. Is this your career? Is this something you kind of do to supplement your income, or
It's a job.
has it ever been a full-time job for you, being a private investigator?
Absolutely.
I mean, for like a period of a year.
For years, not year.
Okay. And as a private investigator, most of your work has been in the insurance business, I understand?
Recently, yes.
All right.
Yeah, probably.
Have you ever investigated a criminal case?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? That's a yes, I guess.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
When was that? Which case was that?
Oh, God. This is going back 20, 30 years.
So you haven't investigated a criminal case for 20 or 30 years?
Right.
What case was that?
Well, I used to do a lot of undercover work, and a lot of it involved with industrial theft. One was, you want to name the company?
Yeah.
There was a Zamoski Corporation in Baltimore, Maryland. I worked undercover there. It was a criminal investigation.
Have you ever been charged with a crime?
I've never been charged with a crime. Felony, no.
Okay. You ever been arrested?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it for?
Let's see. One probably failure to appear for a traffic check or something. What else?
But you have no felony
Oh
convictions.
no, absolutely not. You can't have a felony and be a private investigator.
What is it as a private investigator? What are some of the skill sets that are necessary to perform your job?
Patience, determination, honest. It's primarily it.
Okay. How long have you lived in the Orlando area?
As you know, I don't live in the Orlando area.
Well, how long have you lived
In Florida?
In Florida, yeah.
Came here in '93.
Okay. What brought you to Florida?
My brother had cancer, and I came down here to be with him for the last few years.
Okay. And so, since '93 to now, has your work exclusively been doing private investigation, or have you done other things?
I've done other things.
Okay. What percent of your time is spent in a year as a private investigator, and how many is spent doing other jobs?
Well, I'm available every day for private investigations.
So if we were to subpoena your tax records, we would see how much money you make a year as a private investigator.
Sure.
What's a like last year? What was your income as a private investigator?
I don't know.
Was it 10,000?
I don't know.
Okay. And last year, let's talk about just last year. Last year, what percent of your time was spent as a private investigator?
I don't know. I'd have to figure it out.
What jobs did you work on last year?
What jobs I worked on last year?
What were you hired to do last year?
To do private investigations, or mostly for insurance companies.
Like for who? Allstate, State Farm.
The assignments don't come to me directly. The assignments come through the agencies I work for.
Okay, what agencies have you worked for? Did you work for last year?
Primarily, class action detective agency.
Class Action Detective Agency. Now, where is that located?
Tampa, Florida.
And who owns that company?
This is all relevant to this.
Very.
I believe it's Alan Buchanan.
And how long have you known Alan Buchanan?
Oh gosh, 13 years maybe.
When was the last time you spoke to Alan Buchanan?
A couple of days ago.
Did you talk about this deposition?
No, sir.
Y'all didn't. You had no conversation about this deposition.
No.
What did y'all talk about 2 days ago?
A case I was working on.
Okay. What kind of case?
What kind of? It's a private investigation case.
Was it insurance fraud? Was it
Yes,
an arson
yes.
case?
Insurance fraud.
Okay. What happened to that case?
They're a part of private investigation that is private.
I don't want to know anything.
can't-
I don't want to know about the. I just want to know. In other words, is it an arson case? Is it a, surveillance?
Primary surveillance, yeah.
Is that really what you do primarily? You're kind of a surveillance guy. Is that your real specialty?
My specialty is trying to uncover the truth of an investigation.